I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Grey clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? We were caught up and lost in all of our voices, in your pose as the dust settles around us, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Grey clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? Oh, where do we begin? The rubble of our sins. Oh, where do we begin? The rubble of our sins. And the walls came tumbling down in the city that we love. Grey clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. Close your eyes. Does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? If you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all?
Well, hello and welcome to Restore Live. Restore Live going out on a Saturday afternoon to the Restore channel on Facebook, also to the British Unionist People's Voice and to the YouTube channel. That's Restore UK. And from there, what you can do is you can actually share this broadcast. Now, the reason why that I've decided to come on for a short stream, and again, this is purely for documentary purpose. On Monday, the Boris Jonson, he's on his way to Northern Ireland, and we also hear via the media that Irish America are also on a plane and travelling to Belfast, and you can only imagine what it is that Irish America are here to try to do to try to persuade British government, for example, that the Unionists, it's not really a cause worth fighting for. I mean, there are people that should be discriminated against. There are people that should have their place in the United Kingdom removed. There are people that should have an illegal constitutional changing protocol placed upon them. And you can only imagine what the conversations from Irish America to the Boris Johnson government would be whenever it is that they try to intimate that the protocol is absolutely necessary in order to protect the Belfast Agreement, when in fact we know as Unionists, what it is actually doing is that it is destroying the premise of that Belfast Agreement, or the so-called premise, whenever they said that the Belfast Agreement was there to protect and to work for each and every person here in Northern Ireland. There was a principle of consent which actually guaranteed Unionists their place in the United Kingdom until the greater number of people here, by way of referendum, would suggest otherwise. Now, we see the Belfast Agreement having been absolutely made null and void. And as Unionists, we should continue to press, regardless of a protocol going or not going, we should continue to press for that Belfast Agreement to either be redrawn in a way that it has an even playing field installed within it, or if it can't be, well, then it needs binned and it needs shown for the one-sided appeasement process that it actually is, whenever that it delivers all that republicanism actually want. Now, whenever we look at the protocol and we understand why that it is that Irish America would be coming here on Monday, they want that protocol in place. They want that protocol to remain. And the reason why they want that protocol to remain is because it is a stepping stone to this so-called New Ireland, which Irish America, to which they desire. And that's why they're here on Monday, and they're here on Monday to actually argue for the protocol to remain in place. So let's watch the language, let's listen to the language, and let's understand that the Americans are not on our side. For years we have shown here at Restore, within the past few months, that for years, ever since 1984, we can trace the roots right back to, and make no mistake, it would go back even further than this, but the CIA have been interfering in this country whenever a CIA slush fund would be here and would be manipulating our politics in a way that is even sending our own political leaders down the wrong road and down the wrong pathway. Because if our leaders do not agree with these Americans, well, you see, they get a rough ride in the press, and they are shown right across the world as if they're backward, as if they're they're the instigators, they're the bad boys, they're the ogres, whenever all that they should be doing is standing up for British unionism here in Northern Ireland. So let's just weigh this out in a way that it should be weighed out, is that Republicans, they are the focus. They are the people that should be appeased, that should have everything, that should be delivered to them, their so-called New Ireland. But whenever you look at that New Ireland, it's not going to be a place of Irishness. Oh no, it's going to be a place of globalization. So really and truly, the Sinn Féiners are selling their own people out. They have sold their own people out. They're further down the line of sellout than we actually are here in Northern Ireland. So but this is what will happen on Monday. You will see Irish America promoting the protocol must stay, promoting if our unionist politicians don't use language which suits these Americans, well, they will be shown across the world to be the they're against peace. They're against the peace process. They do not want to make peace with their nationalist and their Republican neighbours. And well, see, we have to resist this. We have to stand up against this. We have to stand up against this with every fibre of our bodies. And, I'll be watching our politicians. I'll be watching for rollover unionism in action. Now, we do know and we fully understand that the UUP, well, they will be promoting the Irish American line, and they will be, like starstruck puppy dogs when they're standing alongside this Irish America, trying to get their own feet onto this globalist table. That's what the UUP will be doing, and we all need to be keeping an eye on the DUP. So that's all I wanted to really come and say here today, was that the world circus is ascending upon Northern Ireland on Monday, by way of Boris Johnson, number one. And we know how that Boris Johnson and Boris Johnson's government, the Conservative government in the UK, we know how these people are put under pressure. We know how these people actually are easily swayed from that which they said that they would do. Who remembers Boris Johnson at the DUP conference saying that no British Prime Minister could ever countenance a border in the Irish Sea. And not too long after, well, what did Boris deliver? He delivered a border in the Irish Sea. That's exactly what he done. Now, I see a man that's just attended here, and I see that he's on our live chat. And it's Peter Morris. This is the man in front of us, afternoon, as Peter would have said. Now, let's talk about something else. It was Peter that put this in my mind. And Peter, maybe would like you to attend a live stream come next week. And what we'll do, Peter, is we'll talk about that the idea that you fed into the think tank here at Restore UK. And we'll talk about where that idea is actually now, where it's making its way to. And we're hoping of a good outcome for this idea that came from Peter Morris being fed into the think tank here at Restore UK. So hopefully Peter will come on next week, and what we'll do is we'll be able to talk about what it is that Peter suggested. Let me explain to you. Here at Restore UK, what we do is that when we do streams like this, we obviously we have a private messaging system here at Facebook. And what happens is that people feeds in ideas to Restore. They feed in ideas for the purpose of, is this something that maybe we could work with, or maybe this is a solution to a certain problem, or they feed in, maybe newspaper articles, newspaper clippings, and whatever. And what we then do is that at Restore UK, we discuss it within a little think tank that we have. And we really thought that something that Peter fed in late last week, was a very, very simplistic but absolutely ideal idea for ridding ourselves of this constitutional changing protocol. There's Peter again, no problem, John. And yes, Peter, you would have to get the credit for this if this actually works. So let me explain to you. So the real problem with the protocol, according to the media, is that the EU single market has to be protected at all costs. This is why that we have checks on goods coming from England, Scotland, and Wales, and into Northern Ireland. And they say that the EU single market, it has to be protected to such a degree that there has to be border checks at Larne, at Belfast, and also in Warren Point. Now, whenever that we look at that, unionists are saying, well, really we can't have a border slap bang in the middle of the United Kingdom. If there is going to be a border, and if the EU want checks, well, they should check them wherever it is that they want to check them. That's the way things should be. And we've heard all sorts of solutions and ideas being discussed, whether that would be a trusted trader scheme, whether that would be, digital, whereby the goods are actually packaged in a factory, they're sent in a locked container, they can make their way through Northern Ireland into the Irish Republic, which is the EU. And that way, then the Irish government, the Irish customs authorities, they can actually check the goods. But no, the EU are insisting that the goods must be checked in Larne, Belfast, and in Warren Point. That's our ports here on the east coast of Northern Ireland. Now, Peter came up with a very, very simplistic idea yesterday, which I think is an ideal solution for actually solving this problem. And this idea is so simple that, I think, well, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't others think of that? Why are we not hearing our government even speaking about that? Why are we not hearing our politicians speak about this particular idea? So let me explain what it was that Peter fed into the think tank actually last week. Was that Peter says, well, it appears to me that the solution is to, why are we bringing EU goods to Northern Ireland? If EU goods weren't coming to Northern Ireland, well, then, therefore, there wouldn't need to be checks. And, that is an absolute valid point, which Peter had said. So we put some meat to the bones of what it was that Peter was saying. And, what we did is that we sort of drew up a proposal, and we submitted the proposal to an MP of standing in the Westminster government. And we're hoping that this idea is going to be passed through to the powers that be for examination, for consideration. And we're crossing our fingers that this actually works, because the meat on the bones that we had put onto that idea by Peter Morris was that, you see, there's two shipping routes that I knew of straight off, that by which that this could be like a green corridor for goods travelling into the ROI, Republic of Ireland, EU. And those two shipping routes would be Liverpool. You see, you have a Liverpool to Dublin route, which is already in existence. And you also have a Holyhead to Dublin route, which also is in existence. So here is the solution to the protocol problem. The solution to the protocol problem is that all goods destined for the EU, i.e. the Republic of Ireland, which is the EU, well, they're not allowed to travel via Larne-Stranraer or Larne-Cernran to Belfast, should I say, or any other ports. What they should be doing is that all goods destined for the EU, Republic of Ireland market should be sent via Liverpool and Holyhead direct into Dublin port. And therefore, any goods that are coming across the so-called North Channel, the Irish Sea, known to others, well, they would only be destined for Northern Ireland. And that would be, we could rip that protocol up and we could put it actually in the bin. So let's cross our fingers. Let's cross our fingers that the powers that be actually consider an idea that was actually initiated by Peter Morris, fed into our think tank here at Restore. And now that idea is with the powers that be in Westminster, or if it hasn't actually arrived there, well, it should be arriving there actually early next week. So we're hoping that something can be done. So a very, very simple idea to rid ourselves of the protocol would be that all goods destined for the EU, Republic of Ireland market wouldn't come to Northern Ireland. They would be delivered via Liverpool and via Holyhead straight into Dublin port. And that is the end of these push posts in Larne, in Belfast, and in Warrenpoint. Now, the only reason why they wouldn't put together and work with such a simple idea is because, well, only, you see, the protocol could be being used as a mechanism to break up the United Kingdom. There could be people from within the Westminster Parliament that is happy enough with this, because let's remember they are Brexiteers, and the protocol could be being used to hold Northern Ireland as part of the EU in the hope that it breaks up the United Kingdom, and that Scotland, the SNP, would follow next, as would the Drakeford, is it Drakeford, I think it is, in Wales, as would the Welsh government want to follow suit. So if Northern Ireland is continued to be separated by way of the protocol, Scotland would be calling for much of the same, as would the people in Wales. Now, this could be these Remainy acts, because that's what they are. They are Remainy acts. This could be the way in which the Remainy acts hope to derail Brexit in its entirety. So there's a simple solution given by Peter Morris, fed into our think tank. We put some meat on the bones, and it's passed to the relevant authorities. And let's hope that they consider that idea. It's such a simple idea. It really, really would work. So I see a couple of things in the live chat here. So I'm just going to pop this up. What about America? Biden giving America back to Native Americans? Yeah, absolutely. Jane, yeah. And we did actually a show about this, and what we did was that we were able to, I'll just again pop that back up again. We did a show about this, and how that the Navajo Indians, how that they were robbed of their land, and how that they were derailed, how that they were manipulated in such a way that their leaders were given huge amounts of money. Their leaders were given the similar to what the Stormont was. They were given like a legislative assembly, and the leaders were plied with all types of pleasantries in order to keep the Navajo Indian tribe under wraps, let's just say, and ensure that there was going to be no dissent from within those quarters. So that's something we must talk about again. We must bring out the documentary that Turning Point USA made, that Jack Ross from Turning Point UK gave to us, and says to me, John, why don't we do like a documentary of a similar nature, showing how that it is that Northern Ireland was being treated, and showing the striking similarities of how that it was that the Americans derailed the Native Americans, as you say, Jean. And there you go. So that was something that we did last year. We did do a story about that, and we showed the Turning Point USA documentary. It was a short documentary, and it told you everything, and it featured people from the Navajo tribe saying, there was one girl says, she was talking to their leaders. She was saying, and to the people that were getting the pleasantries from the American government in order to destroy the Native American, fraternity. She says, well, if I have to fight you to save you, that's what I will do. So there you go, Jean. And then I look here at Billy McKay here. Larne Council, when they had one twin with Clover of North Carolina years ago, and moved between their prospective towns and counties, it fizzled out in Super Council. So maybe that was just something that you're talking to in respect of something that somebody else said. Yes, you ever had no idea it was kicked in the grass. Yeah, I'm just looking for some of the live chat here before I actually close here. Right, okay. I'm just looking to see if there's any live chat here that I could actually pop up. Well, anyway, people, there it goes. That's my documentation of the fact. Let's get back and let's recap on why that it was that we were here. So the circus is coming to Northern Ireland on Monday. There will be Boris Jonson, and we know that the Boris Johnson government are easily derailed from what it is that they're aiming to do. I'm looking at the whole process. I'm looking at what you're seeing playing out in front of your media in the past few days, and I do see lockstep language being used. And this was lockstep language, which was derived from Dublin. It was used by the Ulster Unionist Party. It was used by the Alliance Party. In fact, the Alliance Party claimed that it's in their party manifesto, this lockstep language. We heard Mr. Nolan using it. We've heard a lot of people using it. We've heard Europeans using it. We've heard all and sundry using it. We've heard Simon Coveney, Micheál Martin. We've heard Niall Murphy, or Niall Richmond from the Irish government using it. We've heard a lot of people using these words, these formation of words, which is the landing zone is, and that landing zone of which they speak is that goods coming from England, Scotland and Wales to Northern Ireland, well, they don't need to be checked. It's only EU goods that need to be checked at Larne, at Belfast and at Warrenpoint, which means, in effect, that the Poots Post stays. And then on Wednesday evening on the Nolan Show, we heard Mr. Poots himself say that the DUP are happy to have a border in the Irish Sea. Now, who remembers what Jeffrey was saying in those protocol rallies, that he would not be returning to Stormont unless that the protocol is gone in all its forms? And all of a sudden, we have now the DUP climbing down by way of Edwin Poots' language on Wednesday evening, just past there on the televised Nolan Show on Wednesday evening, when Mr. Poots says that the DUP are happy to check EU goods in Belfast, and by extension he means Larne and in Warrenpoint. So let's watch this now. I do not trust the DUP. I do not trust the DUP hierarchy. What they are doing, and I'm claiming this, and I'm absolutely happy to sit here in front of you to tell you that what the DUP are doing and what they continuously do is that they work out ways of how to move the Unionist electorate to the positions by which that they can be comfortable. In other words, they're not going to get any flack from the media if they support a particular way. They're not going to get any flack from the governments or wherever. The DUP looks good. Why? Because they're capitulating to the process which will deliver us to a new Ireland. That's what's happening. That's what the DUP do. They spend more time trying to bluff, con and swindle us than they do fighting for the things that we need as a people to survive in the future. So that's the DUP. That's the DUP all over. And, and whenever you know what the DUP do, well, you can see a mile off how that it is they do it. In fact, you can see by their words whenever they mention them, you know where they're about to travel. So let's watch the DUP with a hawk-like eye, and let's try to understand where it is that they're taking us. So there was a good solution proposed by Peter Morris. It's already been fed in to the process, and let's hope that common sense prevails. And we, if we need rid of the protocol, if we need rid of the border in Belfast, in Warrenpoint, and in Larne, if we need rid of that, well, the simplistic idea is to send EU goods via Liverpool and via Holyhead direct to Dublin port, and that way they don't even need to come into Northern Ireland. Therefore, there's no protocol required and there's no checks required. Let's see, does the Europeans give up the protocol that easy? Let's hope that our powers that be, that they push forward with that simple idea, because that would nullify the protocol completely. There's no protocol needed. Certainly not for constitutional matters here in Northern Ireland, certainly not creating a border in the Irish Sea. So thanks very much for listening. It's a Saturday afternoon. It's a good day outside. I'm doing a bit of work to the back garden, so I'm going to get back to my work. I just wanted to document the fact that the circus is coming to town on Monday. Irish America will be here, standing up for Irish Republicans, standing up for the murderous scum that would have, held this country to ransom for all of my life. I'm 53 years of age, and all of my life I have known nothing but Republicans holding this country to ransom and trying to rack, ruin, and destroy. I'm going to give a quote from the Bible. What does it say? The thief cometh not, but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And I just think of Republicans, and that's all they've ever done ever since that I've known them, ever since I was old enough to know them. They have stole, killed, and destroyed everything in Northern Ireland. And here they are, having got where they are because of the violence that they perpetrated, and because of the victims that they made, and because of the threat of that violence. Well, our British government are not wanting to stand up against them. The Belfast Agreement, it was a disguise. It was built for appeasement, swindle, and lies. The peace is a farce. The IRA guns are still there, and London is afraid of another bomb scare. Thanks very much for coming along, and we'll see you all soon, perhaps Monday. I would say that we're going to have some things unfold before our very eyes on Monday that will not be suitable for British unionism. Watch this space. Thanks very much for coming along, and enjoy your weekend as it goes.
There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch a deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Come back up to build a wall between us. You know that they won't win. Now I'm towing my car. There's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper today tells a warrant of waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. steps to the door of your heart. Only shadows ahead, barely clearing the roof. Get to know the feeling of liberation and relief. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. You know that they won't win. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da. Won't let the wind don't
We didn't join Europe to be swallowed up in some bureaucratic conglomerate where it's Euro this and Euro that and forget about being British. We're British and we're proud of it. Proud of our traditions, proud of our national character,